In the last video we talked about why cars were so expensive and unaffordable in the Soviet Union and what the early luxury cars were. We, for example, talked about just how low the incomes were compared to the ridiculous prices these luxury cars cost. In this video we're going to talk about the later luxury cars up until the end of the Soviet Union in 1991. In the last video we talked and ended with the ZIM or the GAZ-12, and in this video we're moving on with the 1958 to 1962 ZIL-111, and this was the successor of the ZIS-110, which ended production after 12 years, marking a shift in Soviet luxury car design towards more modern aesthetics. The ZIL-111, produced from 1958 to 1962, was a luxury car developed by the Soviet Union for high-ranking officials and state functions. It was part of the ZIL line designed to showcase Soviet automotive engineering at its peak. The 111 featured a robust and elegant design with a long, low body and a large, imposing grille, and it was powered by a 6-liter V8 delivering 190 horsepower. The car was equipped with advanced technology for its time, including hydraulic brakes, power steering and even an air conditioning system in some cars, making it a very comfortable ride for Soviet elites. The 111 was available in several versions, including a limousine variant called the 111V and a variant with air conditioning called the 111A. There also was a newer variant called the 111G and a convertible variant called the 111D. I will talk about these models later. The interior of the car was luxurious, featuring leather seats and advanced instrumentation. It was primarily used for ceremonial purposes, such as transporting government officials, diplomats, and foreign leaders. A small number of 111s were produced in specialized variants, such as modified versions for the Soviet leaderships. A total of around 2,000 units were produced during its production run, making the 111 a rare and prestigious vehicle, and it was eventually replaced by the 114, which introduced a more modern design and advanced features. Specification-wise, the car was, as said before, powered by a 6-liter V8 producing 200 horsepower, giving the car a top speed of 176 km an hour. It had a heavy weight of 2600 kilograms, and due to its heavy weight, the 0 to 100 time wasn't that fast with 21 seconds. The heavy weight also could be thanked to the 6.14 meter length, also giving the car a very, well, in this case quite decent fuel consumption of 22 liters per 100 kilometers, which was actually quite decent compared to other vehicles. Of the 111 itself, 112 units were produced, with a total with the other models such as the 111G and V and A and D of 2000, but for these it was just 112. A year after that, in 1959, GAZ introduced its GAZ-13 Chaika, and it was a high-end luxury vehicle produced by GAZ for mid-level government officials between 1959 and 1981. 22 years later. It was eventually designed to replace the outdated GAZ-12 ZIM, incorporating modern styling and technology, and the car featured a sleek American-influenced design with an emphasis on comfort and luxury, making it ideal for government officials and high-ranking individuals within the Soviet Union. The car had a 5.5-liter V8, offering decent power for its class, and was equipped with various luxury features, including power steering, air conditioning and automatic transmissions. Its body was built with durability and comfort in mind, with plush interior fabrics and spacious seating. During its production run of 22 years, the GAZ-13 underwent several updates, including the introduction of an improved version, the GAZ-13S, which featured enhanced features like a more powerful engine, and this car was also popular for use in parades and ceremonial events, symbolizing Soviet prestige. Specification-wise, the cars were powered by a 5.5-liter V8, giving the car 195 horsepower, while having a smaller length of 5.6 meters, giving the car a better 0 to 100 time of 13.9 seconds, while the top speed actually was quite decent with 161 km an hour, being quite low compared to the ZIS-111 for example, while still having a very high weight of 2100 kilograms. It was also produced a lot more than the ZIS-111 for example, with 3179 units produced. In 1962, ZIL introduced the ZIL-111 G&D, like we talked about before, and it was basically the successor of the ZIL-111 itself. They were redefined versions of the ZIL-111, which was a luxury limousine produced in the Soviet Union during the 1960s. Both of the models, just like the 111 itself, were designed for high-ranking government officials and international representatives, featuring advanced technology and American-inspired design elements. The 111G introduced in 1962, and this version was a modernization of the original 111, incorporating features like a 4-headlamp system, and this basically was a first for Soviet cars. Also, round taillights and sleek arrow-shaped side moldings were integrated into this car. This model also had a more powerful 6-liter V8 engine, an automatic transmission, and included air conditioning as standard, a significant upgrade at the time. The G also was longer and heavier than earlier models, making it more comfortable and a more powerful vehicle. A total of 51 were produced. The 111D, built at the same time as the G, was a special convertible version produced for ceremonial purposes, such as parades. These cars had a folding soft top with hydraulics operation, allowing them to transform into open-top vehicles. Of the D, only a few units were produced, with some still used for ceremonial duties, into the 21st century. And these cars were rare and highly prestigious, symbolizing the high status of Soviet leadership. Of the 111D, a total of around 20 units were produced, and these were primarily for special events, as said before. The G and D used the same engine, but because they were heavier, they were slower, with the top speed actually estimated at around 160 km an hour, instead of the 173 km an hour for the ZIL 111. At the end of the production of the 111 G and D, ZIL yet again introduced a new version, this called the ZIL 114. It was produced between 1967 and 1978, a total of 11 years, and it was also, just like the others, a Soviet limousine designed especially for high-ranking government officials, including the Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev. It was developed by ZIL as an upgrade to the previous ZIL 111, featuring more luxurious and modern features suitable for state use. The vehicle was built on a steel frame and had a body that was heavily influenced yet again by American luxury cars of the 1960s, particularly in terms of size and design. It had a sophisticated interior with high-quality materials such as leather, wood paneling and advanced amenities like air conditioning, power windows and hydraulic-assisted steering. The car's design emphasized comfort and security with a heavily armored body to protect its occupants from potential threats. And the car was also known for its spacious interior, which was equipped to carry the Soviet leader and his entourage in absolute luxury. The limousine was designed for use in official state events, with multiple examples used by Brezhnev and other top Soviet officials during this period. A few hundred units of the 114 were produced, though the exact number remains difficult to confirm. It remained in service until the late 1970s and eventually was replaced by newer models. The car was powered by a 7-liter V8 producing 303 horsepower and giving the car a top speed of 190 km an hour, all while still having a weight of 3,100 kilograms and a length of 6 meters and 31 centimeters. Therefore, in my opinion, it is actually very good that the car still had a 0 to 100 time of only 13.5 seconds, all while having a fuel consumption not that much worse than the others, with 27 liters per 100 kilometers. At the late 1970s, in 1977, of course GAZ couldn't help but introduce a new model, and they did with the GAZ-14 Chaika, produced between 1977 and 1988. It was the second generation of Chaika, offering advanced features and improved performance. Its design was aimed at combining modern aesthetics with luxurious comfort, featuring innovative technologies of the time. And the vehicle was built on a platform derived from the earlier GAZ-13 Chaika, but with significant updates to its appearance and mechanical components. One of the key design changes was a new, more streamlined body, which borrowed some visual elements from contemporary Western cars, such as the Chrysler New Yorker and the Opel Admiral, although it remained a uniquely Soviet creation. The car was powered by a 5.5-liter V8 producing 220 horsepower, around 30 horsepower more than its predecessor. This gave the car a top speed of 175 km an hour and a decent 0 to 100 time of 15 seconds, all while having a much bigger dimension of 6.11 meters in length. This big length gave the car a weight of 2600 kilograms and a fuel consumption of 22 liters per 100 kilometers. And production-wise, it was produced quite a lot compared to some other vehicles on this list, as a total of 1114 units were produced between 1977 and 1988. In 1978, ZTL once again introduced a new car, this time being the ZTL 4104. It was an elite limousine that was symbolized to the height of the Soviet luxury. The 4104 was a luxury limousine produced between 1978 and 1983, primarily intended for higher-ranking Soviet officials, including party leaders. And this model replaced the earlier ZTL 114 model. The exterior of the 4104 was distinctively Soviet, with a long, streamlined body and large, elegant chrome elements. The interior was designed with the utmost comfort in mind, with plush upholstery, rich wood paneling and advanced features for the era. It was often used for ceremonial duties and to transport the leaders across the USSR and abroad. And after 1983, the 4104 was largely succeeded by the 41045, which was a facelifted version of the 4104. This car was powered by a 7.7-liter V8 producing 315 horsepower, giving the car a very good top speed of 200 km an hour and a 0 to 100 time of only 12 seconds. It had a length of 6.34 meters and the fuel consumption was actually quite decent at 23 liters per 100 kilometers, while still having a weight of 3,400 kilograms. Production-wise, as said before, it was one of the vehicles that was produced the least, with 106 units produced between 1978 and 1983. The ZTL 41047 represented the final evolution of the ZTL limousine series, and the 41047 was a luxury limousine built by the ZTL factory from 1985 to 2002. It was designed yet again for high-ranking officials, including President Mikhail Gorbachev. Key features of the 41047 included a heavily armored body and reinforced windows, designed to protect occupants in case of attack. The design of the 4107 was based on the previous 4104 and it featured a more modernized exterior and interior for improved comfort and security, and it was one of the last models, as said before, to be produced by the ZTL, because the company eventually ceased production in favor of foreign-made models like the Mercedes-Benz X600 or the BMW 7 Series. Specification-wise, it was actually quite comparable to its predecessor, as it was powered by the same 7.7-liter V8 producing 315 horsepower, although the top speed was a bit lower at 190 km an hour, and the car's 0 to 100 time actually worsened by a second up to 13 seconds from 0 to 100. This mostly was thanked because of the 200 kilo extra weight the car had, giving the fuel consumption a 23.5 liter mark and having a weight of 3600 kilograms, while having the same length of 6 meters and 34 centimeters. This model was produced a bit more at 234 units compared to the 106 units for the 4104, and it was actually a bit more successful. And besides this version, you had also a list of other versions being changed a bit. As you had this version based between 1985 and 2002, but you also had the 41041 produced between 1986 and 2000, which was a 5-seat saloon with a 3.3 meter wheelbase, of which 30 cars were made, and 12 of them were made during 1997 to 2000 for the government of Moscow. You also had the 41042, which was an ambulance version, the 41044, which was a convertible version, the 41049, which was a special communication car, the 41052, produced between 1988 and 2002, which was an armored limousine, the 4107, which was produced between 1988 and 1999, which was also a special communication car, the 41071, which was also a special communication car, the 41072, called the Scorpion, produced between 1989 and 1999, which was an escort car, and also the 4104R, produced in 1990 as a film car, also a 41047TB, produced in 1992, which was an armored limousine of which 2 were made, and a 41044-1, produced in 2010, which were 3 black cars made for the Victory Day Parade on the Red Square, and these basically were the last models produced 8 years after the other models. Basically, the last luxury car of the Soviet Union was produced and introduced in the last years, and even some years after. Introduced in 1986, 5 years before the collapse of the Soviet Union, the GAZ-13 was produced up until 1995 and was a Volga V8 model, a significant variant in the Volga series. It was equipped with a 5.5 liter V8 version known for its smooth power and delivery and reliability, and this model featured an automatic transmission in addition to other modifications, like redefined bodywork compared to its predecessor. You also had the 31011, and introduced shortly after also showcased a V8 engine with similar characteristics but slight differences in design and comfort levels, although both models were popular among Soviet officials and higher-ranking individuals for the luxury features. The GAZ-13 Volga was considered a luxury car due to its combination of advanced features, such as the powerful V8 engine and high-quality materials. The interior was designed for comfort with leather upholstery, wood trim and advanced electronics such as air conditioning, making it ideal for high-ranking officials. The car's larger, more stylish body and its intended use of the state and official purposes added to its prestige, solidifying its place as a luxury car in the Soviet era. It was powered, as said before, by the 5.5 liter V8 producing 195 horsepower, giving the car a top speed of 170 km an hour and a 0 to 100 time of around 15 to 16 seconds. This was actually the smallest model of the list with a length of 4 meters and 87 centimeters, but it was actually the best car on the list as fuel consumption was between 12 to 13 liters per 100 kilometers, as the weight was only 1750 kilograms. Production-wise, only a few hundred were made, and it was actually not that successful as GAZ intended to be. Thanks for watching this video. To be able to upload more videos in the future, please consider becoming a member of my channel or sending a super thanks on this video. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Don't forget to check out this playlist with many interesting videos covering various parts of the automotive industry, and I will see you in the next video.